Welcome back. Tuhafeni Mwandingi, a 35-year-old author from Oshakati, has published a handbook titled The Road Maestro. The book is designed to promote road safety, offering practical advice and insight to help reduce accidents and improve driving habits. Mwandingi's work reflects his commitment to enhancing road safety and contributing positively to his community. In our discussion, we explore his motivation behind the book and the key messages he hopes to convey to readers. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening to you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much as well. I appreciate it.
Tuhafeni, talk to us about what inspired you to write this book on road safety and, what makes your approach unique?
You see, the prevalence of road fatality in Namibia are some of the things we need to look at, because it shows there is a lot we need to do. That inspired me to write this book, because our people need to be safe on the road, and it's only fair that we do something about that, and I'm glad I did. Yeah.
Well, of course, we hear and see about road safety a lot. We read about it a lot. There's lots of campaigns around it. So what makes the approach in your book unique?
The inclusion of first aid. Because in the book I included a topic on, or to say a chapter on first aid, and I was thinking that there are situations that comes beyond the driver's control, and to some extent we have accidents and we get casualties. Now in those situations we need the people who are usually first on the scene of accident, and that is usually another driver who comes first at the scene of accident. So if these people are well informed about first aid basics, to at least understand what are the do's and don'ts about the road accident, or what are the do's and don'ts at the scene of accident, they will be able to assist better. Because you see, some people, or to say casualties in a road accident, they usually perish because they either didn't get the help they need in time, or they get assistance from the people who can assist them. Now, if we give first aid basics to all the drivers, it means now every person approaching a scene of accident will be someone who is able to assist these people, that is to preserve life and prevent conditions from worsening. And just to give a little bit insight of my inspiration, because I thought there is a need to inculcate and inspire our people to acquire a change in perspective as to how they view roads and driving in general. And I was also thinking that because I'm on the ground, I hear when people talk, there is a need to collaborate the transport, the regulatory authorities with the general public, because to some extent it looks like there is a rage, and I believe this rage is coming from a lack of understanding. People do not understand that rules and the regulations governing roads are not there to punish them. They are there to safeguard our lives and make sure that we make progress in life. But now it looks like they feel being punished. And this is caused by a lack of understanding that is them being protected so that they are safe on the road. Because one can vow to drive safe on the road, but then somebody else can get them involved in an accident. So in the process, unruly drivers are being disciplined. So people need to understand that the authorities are simply fostering the bigger picture. Punishment is not the bigger picture. The bigger picture is supposed to be getting the understanding that, for instance, if you speed, that's why when you ask people, for instance, why shouldn't you speed? They will tell you, it's because I'm afraid I will get a ticket. But that is not the bigger picture. The bigger picture is supposed to be, if you speed, for instance, is wear and tear on your vehicle. And when that happens, you know now you are not just reducing the longevity of the systems of your vehicle, but it's pushing you closer to an accident. And others, such as that speed itself is directly proportional to the loss or reduction in traction between the tires of the vehicle and the road. So now you can imagine with the reduced traction, if the tires are not having sufficient grip on the ground, you can now imagine what can happen, because then the vehicle will become more maneuverable, and it can cause an accident.
So Afeni, for the sake of time, let's carry on with the conversation. I want you to share some of the most common road safety issues that you've identified in Namibia. I think you've touched on a few now. Maybe perhaps you can touch on some others, and how your book, of course, addresses them.
Among them is the overtaking. The way our people overtake is a serious problem and a serious road issue in Namibia. Is to say now that when people overtake, do they assess is there a need to overtake? Because you will see that someone will overtake and in front of you they are getting off the road. Now you ask a question, where was the need to overtake if they actually arrived? Yeah. So it's some of those, and others are like drowsy driving. Someone will be driving and sleepy, and that is not different from driving under influence, because then you are not in control of your vehicle. Others are like hazard and loading, overloading, to be specific, and some like a glare from sunlight and unfavorable weather conditions. Because if you are driving in a situation that is windy, it does not matter how good a driver you are affected, and you were supposed to take precautions to make sure you mitigate or you maneuver through the wind or through the sunlight.
What role do you believe educational awareness plays in reducing road fatalities? And does your book touch on that as well?
Definitely. That education plays a role of informing people, and informing people means that you are giving them correct information. When you give them correct information, it also means you are reducing the wrong information they had previously. And when with the reduced wrong information, it also means people have high understanding and education and awareness pass that information. And when people have sufficient information, they develop a skill. And when they develop skills, you see that help them. And also, create peace now between, be it now the public and authorities, the regulatory authorities, because then they understand why certain routines and the rules and the regulations are done or are set the way they are set, and why routines are done the way they are done.
Having spoken in the past to entities such as the MVA, to the Namibian Traffic Department when it comes to road accidents, some of the things that they've mentioned are what you've mentioned as well in terms of what causes road accidents. But the biggest contributing factor, they've always said, is the human attitude, the driver's attitude. What do you have to say about that, and how do you speak on that within your book?
I should say now that that is the central theme behind this writing, because this book aims to foster a change in perspective, a change in the viewpoint about driving and vehicle with our people, a change in how they view and how they think about driving, and a change in a perspective of how they can collaborate with others. Now, this is how this book, or to say, is when this book comes into play, because then that's the central theme. It is meant to foster a change in perspective, just create an ignition, to ignite a spark in the mind to think about the road more. And also when they think about the road more, it means they research more, they talk about it more, and of course, they will have more information.
Just lastly, Tuhafeni, if you could share one piece of advice with every driver in Namibia, what would it be?
I would say they should all drive well, even when nobody's watching.
I love that.
Yeah.
Drive well even when nobody's watching.
Yeah, drive well even when nobody's watching.
Tuhafeni, where is the book available for those who'd like to get a copy, read through it? Where can they get it?
It's a beautiful book, by the way. Yeah. And it's available here in Windhoek. It can be ordered through online, and yeah, we also have it in Oshakati, Kuku Mall, in Newton driving school and amusement hall. So if you go to a Kuku Mall, you'll find them there.
Fantastic.
Grab a copy, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here this evening. Lovely speaking to you.
I should thank you and thank the viewers, and particularly the mighty NBC. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
That was Tuhafeni Mwandingi, an author who has just written a handbook titled The Road Maestro, really speaking to the hearts of drivers, forcing them to think differently and therefore approaching the road differently and, of course, with caution. And that note, we wrap up today's edition of the Daily Roundup with Nina. We're back next week. We'll see you then. Good night.